Hello students, here's your video guide for finding your source. Okay, for this paper you only need one source. It would be useful to place it in the background information about your topic. Now remember, you're researching a pet peeve, but it can't be some minor peeve that really just affects you or your family, or it can't be a behavior that is detrimental to the country or to humanity. So it needs to be a behavior that's somewhere in the middle. Okay. Once you've narrowed your topic down, you need to do your research and find a source, one single source, so we can practice embedding and making a works cited page. Now, if you go to the My DCCCD tab, and over here on your right, you'll find the library catalog if you need a book, which we don't, but you will go to search articles and databases. Click on that. You'll probably have to log in and just read the directions, because sometimes it's just your first name and last name, and then the password is your e-number. And so read and it'll tell you how to log in. Now there's three pretty good databases to use. You have Academic Search, you have Opposing Viewpoints, and CQ Researcher. So hopefully you can find something in one of those three databases to help you with your essay. Okay, I always start with Opposing Viewpoints. It's simple, easy to access. And then I will type my pet peeve in here. And I will say child behavior. Okay. Let's say that there's nothing there. I need to be more specific. Okay, classroom behavior. This would be a community issue. It affects a lot of students everywhere. I probably see it more because I also teach at a high school, but I understand that people or students, when they are disruptive, when they come in late, when they're on their phones, when they dominate a conversation, if they were disrespectful to the teacher or the professor, it creates an environment that's not healthy or good for other students. And so this is an important issue to me. It's a peeve that's kind of in the middle. Okay, so I would just typed in class behavior, and here is the topic. It says classroom behavior has worsened. So I will open that up and I would read the article. Now, again, you only need one source and you only have to use it once, because my goal is to get you to practice. And this one has some information. Classroom behavior has worsened. And it says Frank Schultz, he's the writer, and he says that the last few decades have seen an increase in the number of children with behavior problems. This is challenging for everyone. Possible reasons for the decline in good behavior may be a lack of good parenting, increased use of technology, parental substance abuse, dietary changes, the economy. Positive behavior programs have grown in popularity and are seeing some success. So in this one little paragraph, I have some possible causes and solutions. Like, they're offering programs where it's behavior modification programs. And now he's giving an example of some behavior that happened. Here's parental frustration. Here's some reason. So this is a simple, easy source that I could use. And so what I would need to do is embed. I would have to embed the information that I'm going to use for my essay. Okay. Now, one other thing I want you to make sure you're doing is citing your source. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it says Frank Schultz, classroom behavior, and that would be my source citation. And so before I even move on, I would copy all of this and put it on my works cited page. And I will show you how to create one of those as well. I'm just going to paste it here. And I will format it correctly in a minute. Let me go back and do my research. Okay, let's say I am just going to take this first sentence, or a few sentences, copy, control, and paste that into my paper. Here's my source. I'll just paste it here. Now I have to embed it, because if all you do is copy and paste this long quotation in the middle of your paper, you're not really writing very well. Okay, it's poor writing. I just copied and pasted something down. And you have to learn how to embed the research into your own words. And so I love the strategy. It is called They Say, I Say. It's the graph templates. It's a college text resource. I've cited it here, right here. That's the book where I got these templates. Now you have to do 3 things with a source. Okay, for every source, you have to do all 3 things. First, you have to introduce it. So you would use one of these templates to introduce your source. See how it has these quotation marks around it? Okay, I would embed some of the source here. Not an entire sentence, not 3 or 4 sentences, just a most essential piece of information that I want to talk about. I would pick one of these templates and introduce my quotation. Once I've done that, my next step would be to explain the quotation. I am putting what Schultz, in this example, has said into my own words. I'm trying to paraphrase and get to the heart of his argument and make it accessible and internalize it so I actually know what he's saying. How can I agree with him, disagree with him, or use his information to support my argument if I'm not even clear about his beliefs or his stance? And so I would introduce, then I would explain. Now the third step, it depends on your position. You're either going to disagree with the writer, the researcher, and you're going to disagree and add reasons. You're going to agree, but on different grounds. Are you going to do both? Okay, so you will do all 3 steps. Introduce, that's step 1. Explain, step 2. And number 3, disagree, agree, or both. Okay, now I've done an example over here for you. It's from a different source, but I want to show you what I mean. Also, here are some verbs for introducing the quotations and the explanations or summaries, because I don't want you to say he says, he states, he writes. I want you to have variety and improve your language, the use of diction. Okay, so here is an example of some research I got on it at another time, talking about child behavior. There wasn't a writer for this source, and so I just put the source title. It's called Modern Children. Here's the long quote. It says, growing up as a child in the 1970s in Miami, from the time I can remember, I was taught to open doors for ladies, respect my elders. I was not a perfect student, neither were my friends. However, my whole educational experience, I cannot remember anyone ridiculing or disrespecting a teacher, bus monitor, or other school employee to their face in a bullying manner, especially. As a matter of fact, back in my day, we didn't need a bus monitor to control students during the bus ride. This week, the especially harsh bullying of a 68-year-old bus monitor, Karen Klein, in upstate New York, should make a lot of Americans take a very hard look in the mirror when it comes to their parenting skills and wonder why our country's scores are falling behind. So this is just his opinion. I want to take it, I'm going to make it part of my argument, and I'm going to do it very nicely. And so my first step is to introduce it. And so, okay, so here I'm introducing the quote. Writing in the academic journal, has child behavior worsened? The writer, because there's not a name for this particular citation, argues that as a child he was taught to open doors for ladies and respect his elders as a natural part of his upbringing, and there's my parenthetical citation. Now, have you noticed, writing in his academic journal, I used this one. Boop. Writing in the journal commentary, X complains that, quote, this is the skeleton. I am using it, I am modifying it quite a bit to make it work for my natural writing style and to embed the evidence nicely and to include parenthetical citation. So I've introduced my quote right here. Okay, now I'm explaining it. Basically, he implies that times have changed and many young people lack basic courteousness. That's me taking what he said and putting it into my own words, and here's my template. Basically, he is saying, and I've used better verbs, I said basically he implies that times have changed. So that's step 2. Step 3, I either have to agree, disagree, or both with this writer. So here we go. The level of disrespect seems to be on the rise, a point that needs emphasizing since so many people believe respect is a two-way street, and children are only obligated to be respectful when adults are respectful. This seems to be a common belief today. Even little, small children don't believe they have to be respectful to the adults unless the adults are respectful to them. And so if you look at my example, I wrote right here, a point that needs emphasizing. And so am I agreeing with him? Let's see. Right here, let's try I could have used this one. I use this. A point that needs emphasizing. Okay, so I'm agreeing with him, but I've added a little bit of a difference to it. And so that is a template that I'm using. Now, please note, and it tells you this on the handout, do not say I agree. Do not say I disagree. Do not say I concede. I don't want you to use I at all in this essay when you are arguing. Now, if you're telling a personal story, you can use I, but for the argument, don't. Take it out. These are templates just to get you some kind of structure and some guidance. And so I've taken that out. Okay, so that is my first little piece of evidence. Okay. In addition, in his article, the writer claims that the problem stems from parents who need to take a very hard look in the mirror when it comes to their parenting skills. Okay, so I've added another piece of evidence. I'm introducing my quotation. And so the writer claims, I am taking that, instead of saying he writes or he states this template, I said the writer claims. And I added a nice transition before the text evidence. Okay, and so I've taken a bit from here and blended it with my own natural language. And then I just repeat this process. I've introduced it. Now I'm going to explain it and making this comment, explain and making this comment, and then I'm going to agree, disagree, or both. Okay, right there. So I have made this writing my own. I'm acknowledging the original writer, but I've blended it nicely into my own sentences. Okay, this tells you, please read this notice, they're altered quite a bit. I've changed it. I don't say I think, I agree, as it's written on some of these templates. Okay, and so that's what you need to have. You need to have one example of nicely embedded textual evidence in your paper. Okay, I hope you enjoy.